Hi, welcome to the Market Alert for Monday, the 2nd of December 2024. So, Friday's headlines: stocks, bonds and crypto rally as rate cut odds rise on worst macro week in 5 months. So let's just have a look at that. Worst macro week of economic news in 5 months. And this bad news is good news, as the Dow and the German DAX made new all-time highs. So if you can figure that out, you're better than me, because it's the twilight zone. This is futures rise as dollar slides, ending 8-week winning streak. Except that's changed overnight. The dollar is up quite well over as I'm recording. We're talking day in and day out about trade tensions in 29. What happened? Well, I'll tell you what happened in 2019. The repo rate went to 10% on the 19th of September, and then this was eventually followed by during COVID, Trump writing a check for $8 trillion to re-liquefy the central banks because they'd run out of dollars. So I'm not going to go into a conspiracy theory rant here about COVID, but if you dig a bit deeper, you'll see the two are inextricably linked. So yeah, 2019, that's an interesting reference there that's been made. But we'll see. At the moment, there's nothing to stop these markets from moving higher. Well, stock markets, that is. A different story for the metals. So let's have a look at the news for this week. We've got final manufacturing out today. We've got FOMC member Waller speaking. We've then got JOLTS. If we've got JOLTS, we should have non-farm payroll this week. Then Bank of England governor speaking. ADP. If we've got ADP, we're going to get the non-farm payroll. So we've got ADP and we've got Powell speaking on Wednesday as well at 6:45. Two central bankers out there. And then Thursday, unemployment claims, construction. And then on Friday, we've got the big one of the week, the non-farm payroll numbers. And if they come out higher than forecast, which is not going to be difficult given the last one was 12 to try and help Harris to win the election, which failed and backfired. So 202,000 there for it's obviously so another rally coming on Friday for all of the US stock markets at least. Speaking of the US markets, let's have a look at the Dow for last week and in particular Friday. So last week the Dow continued to move to the upside despite it being Thanksgiving, staying above the 5-bar moving average, new all-time high of 45,077. 50,000 is the next upside target before Christmas, in my opinion, and if not, certainly into the new year as we get closer for Trump taking over the top job in the US. There is nothing that is stopping these markets. It doesn't matter about war. It's irrelevant. Inflation, it just does nothing. There's absolutely nothing. It's like they're being controlled, which, according to some other observers, reckon this is the case with BlackRock State Street, isn't it? I think it's called. And there's another one that escapes me. They own 80% between them. Can't confirm or deny, but given the pattern of what's happening in the market, it's completely detached from reality of what's going on in the real world. 30-minute chart, there you go. The electronic market on Friday, straight up. Okay, we've come back down today, but again, it's a classic day after Thanksgiving pattern there. So making our way down, the market's likely to find support at the S1, the low. The only thing that's going to send these markets south of any degree is going to be a black swan event, whether that's using the N in warfare or whatever, but there is nothing to stop it. Absolutely nothing to stop these markets at the moment from moving higher. And you can't argue with it because that's exactly what we're seeing. If we go to a monthly chart, we can see that there. You can see it's rolled over there. Unfortunately, it's a bit of a gap there. I'll sort that out for tomorrow. But again, if you just have a look for the last year and see how far prices have actually moved. Let's just go back to see if I can find January, November, through to December, and there is January. So let's just go from there across to there, and you'll see that we're up 6,226 for the year for the Dow, which is no surprise really. And it's still got plenty more in the tank as well. I don't know if it's actually counting that as the high, because it looks a lot more to me than that. Let me just try this tool, because there's a gap in there. It may be the case. Let's just go from there. This is more of a ballpark number. So let's just have a look, see what we've got. Yeah, that's more like it. 8,000. That's definitely more like it. 6,000 is not enough. So yeah, 8,036 points to the this target here. Wow, that's a lot. That's about 800 a month, isn't it? Something like that. 10 months will be 8,800, so about 650 a month, which is not bad going at all, is it? Let's have a look at the German DAX. So this put in a new all-time high on Friday as well. Big move on Friday. Nobody was selling. Market was free to just keep marching to the upside there. Just go back to the daily chart, and you can see for the week as well, just moving to the upside and taking out the 19,679 by 5 points. And again, 20,000 on the cards for this market. It doesn't matter if it's pulling back a bit today, it's irrelevant. It's heading to the DP, 50 EMA, nothing to stop this market turning around and going back up again during today's trading session there. And in the S&P 500, 6,045, new all-time high. We can just see that there. Again, above the 5-bar moving average all week as it went into Thanksgiving. And you can see Friday exactly the same, off the 200 MA at the open for the the cash market wasn't. It was open, but for half day. Thursday it wasn't. And then coming down, it is below the DP there during the overnight session, but finding support as I'm recording at the 50 EMA. Again, expect new all-time highs this week, particularly with Friday with the non-farm payroll numbers being released. In the FT 100, sideways for the week. Again, not following really, but then a lot of questions about the last budget. It's amazing, isn't it? Liz Truss puts in a classic tax cuts for the voters. The market tanks, and this woman's taking everything apart from the kitchen sink off everybody. Well, probably including the kitchen sink by the time she's finished. And the market's moving up. You can't make it up. And again, choppy session there for Friday. In the US dollar, as I said in the opening intro there, that this was moving back up. Yeah, expect it to go back up and make a new high. Probably, looking at that sort of level there. Just under 108, probably 107.50, somewhere around there for an 89% retracement. Right, so look at the metals. And starting with silver, this is going below the 200 MA today. It's going to be slammed as the US dollar continues to climb. So watch this moving lower. Again, we've got these gaps because we've rolled over, haven't we, overnight? I didn't pull the historical data through. So that's where the start of the month is for the silver market. It'll be the same for the weekly. Oh, not so bad there. But you can see where the downside targets are for silver. It's not going to be allowed to go up. Trump's coming in. He's not a fan. He's not a gold fan. He's not a silver fan. And when you've got Elon Musk, who needs as much cheap silver as he can get for his batteries, we know exactly where this is going. Despite the demand from the Far East, it's more than likely going to be trading down to these sorts of levels which I mentioned before, particularly the 26.34 level there. So we'll keep those there as a reference because I can't see anything other than the market going down to those levels. I know it tries to bounce back, but it's not holding at the moment. So great opportunity when we get down to these sorts of levels, or the 200 down here, down in the 24 region, where we can expect to buy some cheap silver. So there we go. So yeah, you can see where it's heading just from the daily chart. And if we look at the overnight already, it's been hammered to the downside. So if $30 fails to hold, then we're going down to 26. And in the gold market, not so bad, holding a bit more there, obviously with the uncertainty in the world, but again, being crushed overnight to the downside, taking out the low of Friday there as well. So look at the gold silver ratio, and this moving up. What a surprise! Up to the 90 level is where we're off to. We did break out there, but we didn't actually continue. But now's the chance to get back up towards the 90 area. It's all a big joke, frankly, but there's nothing we can do about it. The shorts have got full control once more. Every time silver tries to move up, it gets crushed eventually. Even when they're sitting on losses, they have a way of engineering this back, and all they needed was Trump this time to be elected, and he's a massive crypto fan, and that's it. The whole thing just changes. The dollar's up, crypto's up, and the metals are absolutely crushed, which we can see there. They'll come back, they always do, but just got to put up with it being sideways now for about 6 months before anything really changes, unless there is a black swan event that is favourable to gold and silver. Right, before I finish, I haven't got a recording. Right, just before I finish, let's have a quick look, see what the market's doing overnight. I don't have a recording for Friday because I was still working on the upgrades on the computers. But here we can see that the DAX is down at the moment and heading towards the DP area there. And if we just squeeze it up a bit, we can see where we're at. It was a good 300-point move, so we've got a big few extremes there. The high is 150 points away, and the low is also 200 points away there. So good range there, but at the moment, a bit of weakness around for the German DAX on the overnight at the moment. Okay, that's it for this one. Good to be back, and as ever, thanks for your support, and I shall see you in the next one.